Guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video. I didn't upload anything yesterday because there's just not so much going on for BTC. Then I thought, oh well, why would I then upload something if there's just not a lot happening. Today we do have some price action and also last night some price action came in. So actually I want to share that with you because we have some interesting setups that you could or could have played. We are quickly looking at BTC USD here on the 4 hour. As you maybe remember, 2 days ago this was actually a rising wedge and we broke out and now kind of back, but you could also say, well, there's maybe a bit more of a channel. No matter kind of what you whatever you prefer, we're kind of still in that pattern, shall we say. We are fighting against here the value area high of the broader range right here and the point of control. Have seen lately that the value area low is just creeping up a little bit higher and higher because the price is moving more around higher regions, and then you just see that shifting up. And also therefore the point of control, the most traded volume and the value area high are quite close to each other. I think we're not even talking about 2%. There you go, exactly 2%. Hoppa. So with that being said, we still have some levels above us that actually I want to clear before we might reverse lower, and that is 17,500, and swing from pattern would be nice, or this high right here, 17,660-ish would also be nice, or at least maybe to just take out this high right here, to take it out and then go lower. But we also maybe slowly need to accept the fact that that won't happen. I am quickly going to zoom in on the 1 hour, and this was something that happened yesterday, and there was just absolute sideways action, very boring. I also didn't trade it at all. We're looking here at 0.5 or 0.4% in 24 hours, and then suddenly you see the price going higher. I missed the move, no worries. I'm more interested in a potential short than I'm interested in long in this area, but also then right after you're seeing that the price is just going to sideways consolidation, 0.4% for 16 hours straight before we're getting a small move down. So not so much price action. There are two patterns that you could play. One was a long. This one actually is not so nice because here the candle, the wick on this 1 hourly was way shorter on some BTC USD or USDT and not like in this instance, for instance, Binance the dollar. So that was a little bit confusing, but therefore actually the momentum wave was higher. I saw it on my Bybit chart, but I didn't trade it at all, and then later on we just went high, so that could have been one trade. This one is a little bit nasty, shall we say, because also here on Bybit and some other USD T charts, this candle was higher and therefore there was a bearish divergence here playing out. Also actually not so nice because I want to see a real higher wick here, that it is a bit more obvious. That are usually the bit nicer trades, but also now we don't see a lot of follow through, so again quite some sideways action. But what I'm actually hoping for, and therefore I need to zoom out to the 4 hourly, is that this price just moves higher, because when we had this pump I thought, well, that goes quite fast, money flow in the green, that looks good, RSI's not together, so maybe not the strongest move. That we go higher, take out this high, and then making a big bearish divergence on the 4 hourly, and already told you I will definitely play that. It looks like maybe this 4 hourly, well actually that's not gonna happen because it's just 40 minutes left, but then maybe the next 4 hourly candle, a red dot will appear, and then we have not a bearish divergence, so that's a bit of a bummer, but we can maybe still get it somewhere in the weekend. This is a pretty high wave, so that is nice. Also on the hourly we have here this gigantic high wave, so that is nice. That could still be the beginning setup for a bearish divergence. So if we, let's say later on, go higher above this high of 17,265, then we could still have that bearish divergence. Now let's say we have it on the hourly and the 4 hourly, that would be an absolute treat if that happens. But I have to say, on bigger time frames like the 12 hour, we're seeing that the money flow is curving up. View up is not really showing signs of strength, also not the RSI. This could have been in bearish divergence on the 12 hour, but it looks like we're probably not gonna make it. Then on the daily, there it is a little bit more confusing because here we can see money flow in the red, in the green, the red, the green, the red, a little bit of green, then in the red again, and now the green again, two dots after each other. So this one is actually pretty ugly to take as a reference or as a guide, therefore I'm not really looking at it. On the smaller time frames, this was pretty strong here on the money flow, and I actually also expected quite fast another pump up, but that didn't happen. Went into consolidation phase and soon after the Asian session started. But on the bigger time frame, and I'm really talking about next week, 2 weeks, I'm getting actually a bit more bearish because we are unable to really push higher for the price, and we have some other indicators except for the BTC indicators or I have to say exchanges or indices that are telling us that we're going lower. And I'm talking about, of course, the dollar index. One thing that is in favor of the dollar index is that this low is a higher low than this one. We're seeing the momentum waves already coming up, and we also talked about it that we have a very big bullish divergence here on the daily. Yes, we are now printing a green dot, but a red dot. So that in itself, of course, is a little bit bearish. Matter of fact, this even could go lower, and this momentum wave could go lower, but we cannot surpass this momentum wave. That's of course important. So if this doesn't now play out to the upside, we can still have another few days where the same scenario plays out. So we have some wiggle room, but so far I would say it looks like we're kind of finding ground here. Excuse me. Before we go higher, and if the dollar index is pumping, BTC is dumping. Something that is absolutely gorgeous is the S&P future markets. Right here we talked about the rising wedge, we had our breakdown, and then we had a successful retest, and now it looks like we are going lower. So this in itself, if it is again the leading indicator for BTC, so it kind of moves together with the stock markets in the S&P like is the favorite leading indicator, shall we say, more than maybe the Dow Jones or the Nasdaq, then this could be absolutely the sign that BTC will go lower anytime soon, as long as we just do not break this support and resistance line, because I do feel like here within the traditional stock markets, this is a bit more respected than it is for crypto. So if this eventually rolls over in the next week and a week after, that would be absolutely perfect, and I will load up the short. But before I load up the short, I actually really want for BTC to maybe take out the liquidity and then go lower. Sometimes BTC is a little bit slower than the traditional stock markets, meaning that the stock markets might top out a little bit earlier than BTC does, and then we still have that final run to the upside and then lower. That would actually be nice if, and we already told you this multiple times, if we are really breaking down, then expect this to take multiple weeks to play out, a week or 2, 3, and I'm aiming for 3,500-ish, and then I think that also BTC will at least visit the lows. Maybe put a new low in, but I expect at least a visit of the lows here around 15,500, and the dollar index, well, we have to see how far it goes. Maybe around 110, 111 again, or even attacking the highest point. So that's what I'm looking at right now. One last thing that I want to show you, and that is on the 15 minute, there's quite nice visible. If we're talking about, let me see where this is, or let's take actually the hourly. Yeah, so let's assume that we had this high and then this low. Then you can see that from the highest point that we had here, and you could also say, you know what, we made a high, went lower, and now we made it back up to the 78.6, meaning that we are making a lower high, and therefore now we are slowly grinding lower. I am staying a little bit cautious with this idea because we have a pretty strong support around here. As you can see, a lot of candles finding a support base here, and the next one is approximately here. So that's 16,000, says 17,000-ish, 16,950, and that's 16,800. Those two are quite important for me to watch. But like I said, I'm really hoping for a little bit higher and then lower. That will be it for now. Enjoy your weekend. If you like these updates and you like the content, then please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share the video with your friends if you think this is useful. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links are in the description. See you guys very soon again in the next one. Bye bye.